All right, fourth graders, it's Mr. Remedies back with another reading language arts mini lesson. Today, we're continuing our discussion on text features in nonfiction. Specifically, we're talking about text features of nonfiction passages. All right, as always, you know what's about to happen. We're about to scoot on over to our learning goal and success criteria and see what exactly we're trying to accomplish today. So let's do that now. Is that we are learning to identify and use text features in nonfiction passages. Okay. Along the way, we have some success criteria that will help you know that you got it and that you're on the way to Success Town. Those are: I can define the word passage, I can define text feature, much like we did yesterday, and I can describe the purpose of text features in a passage. If you hit those along the way, I think we'll be right on track to meet our goal today. As always, we're going to scoot on over to our vocabulary words for the day and then dive into some examples. Our vocabulary today, two words for you. The word passage. A passage is a piece, section, or portion of a written work. It's part of a larger written work. And so we're going to see passages today on our STAR test that we are responsible for in the spring. We'll be looking at passages and reading them and whatnot. So it's a good idea to kind of be familiar with them. Text feature. Definition didn't change since the last time we saw that. A text feature is any characteristic of a text where outside the main body of text. All right. So now that we have those out of the way, let's dive right into an example. And to look at those examples, I got to first ask myself, what does a passage look like? Whammo, this is what a passage looks like. Look at it. It's amazing. Got some words, got some titles, got all kinds of text features on there. It's just magnificent. Wow. All right, let's dive in and let's really tear this thing apart, shall we? We shall. Let's tear this thing apart by asking ourselves, what kind of text features does a passage have? Okay? And to do that, we're really going to look and dive into this passage right here. It's called The Puppy Bowl. And if you can see this, it is quite a long passage. It's lengthy, but you know what? I got a lot of faith in my fourth graders across Coppers Cove, Texas. This is piece of cake. This is easy peasy lemon squeezy for you. We are all over this right here. And yesterday we talked about text features in nonfiction text that were mostly books or online resources. And as you can see here, this is what a passage looks like. It's a little bit more stripped down, a little bit simpler than that, but it's still chocked full of text features, right? So the title of this passage, as you can see, is The Puppy Bowl. How do I know that that's what the title is? Boom, right there. The words "the puppy bowl" they appear at the beginning of the passage. They are bolded, and the letters are bigger than any other of the letters on the page. So those are some good indication that's the title of the passage. Right? Title of the passage: The Puppy Bowl. Right? This bold, large title tells me that this applies to all of the story, not just the section that follows it, because it is much larger than any of the other words on the page. Other thing I notice is I notice some photographs along the way here, complete with some captions, and I notice right away that these guys tell me that this is a nonfiction text. However, I'm going to have to read some of the text to confirm whether it is 100% nonfiction. Because, sometimes fiction texts have photographs too. So let's begin. Let's begin, guys, with the introductory paragraph. Where would I find that introductory paragraph? Bam! Right there at the beginning. Okay, so this introductory paragraph says, months before Puppy Bowl 9 was televised, the stars of the show arrived in New York City, where the big event is filmed. There, in a film studio, 63 puppies, 21 kittens, 9 hedgehogs, and 6 hamsters participated in the 2013 Puppy Bowl. With their big eyes and clumsy ways, puppies are very cute to watch on a football field. Audiences agree. The Puppy Bowl has become an annual event, drawing as many as 12 million viewers. Holy smokes, that's a lot of viewers. Okay. This is the introductory paragraph because it is at the beginning of the passage, and B, this tells me what the big idea of the passage is without giving me too many specific details. It does give me quite a few details, but they're not overly specific. Right? Now we're going to read the section titled Play by Play, and I need to know where that section is. Boom, subheading right there tells me that this next section is titled Play by Play. Right? We call it a subheading, we call it a subtitle. Right? This is put here to notice that everything after this heading is related to a similar subject. So let's give this a little read and see what we have in Play by Play. The Puppy Bowl began in 2005 when the cable channel Animal Planet had a problem. Each year, more than 100 million Americans stopped everything to watch the Super Bowl, the biggest football game of the year. This left few viewers to watch the shows on Animal Planet on the day of the Super Bowl. The cable channel decided to create a show that viewers would find interesting. Many people like the idea of a Puppy Bowl. It is like real football game in many ways. The Puppy Bowl is played in a stadium with footballs. However, the stadium is much smaller than a regular football stadium. In fact, it is closer to the size of a school classroom. And the footballs used in the Puppy Bowl aren't real footballs. They are chew toys of different shapes and sizes. Like a real football field, the Puppy Bowl stadium has field goals in the end zones, a green field that is marked with lines, and advertisements posted on the surrounding walls. Of course, there is a major difference between the Super Bowl and the Puppy Bowl. The Puppy Bowl is played by puppies, not humans. But that's not all. The Puppy Bowl has an entertaining halftime show performed by kittens. For the 2013 show, hamsters operated a blimp camera and hedgehogs were the cheerleaders. As I read, those all seem to tell me how the game is played and what the Puppy Bowl looks like. So I could see definitely why the author chose to use play-by-play for the heading of this section. One thing I also notice is I also know this photograph here, and I noticed this caption that reads, "Trying to score a point for the team." So I'm going to think that based on what I read and based on the photograph that the Puppy Bowl teams probably score points by trying to take their chew toy into their end zones, into their goal lines. So let's look at the next section. Well, how do I know what the next section is, Mr. Remedies? Boom, subheading right there. Picking puppy players. If you notice, the pattern we're starting to see is the subheadings, much like the title of the passage, are usually bolded, and they're usually not complete sentences. They're usually a short phrase. So we're going to read the section called Picking Puppy Players, which I really like that alliteration. So what would you think this section is about? Picking puppy players. What could that possibly be about? If all of you are like, duh, Mr. Remedies, that's how they're going to select the players, then I'm willing to bet you're right. But the only way we have to know for sure is by reading this section. So, animal shelters throughout, picking puppy players. Animal shelters throughout the country send in pictures of their puppies, hoping one will be chosen. Each puppy is photographed next to a soda can so the judges can see its size. Puppies are typically between 8 and 16 weeks old, and each puppy is available for adoption. PetFinder.com, an organization that helps people find pets, picks the players based on cuteness and their ability to play well with others. Once the puppies are chosen, they are flown to New York City and taken to a film studio. Many volunteers are waiting at the studio to welcome the puppies, kittens, and other animal participants in the Puppy Bowl. That's a pretty good, interesting information there. Let's look at the next section. How do I know what the next section is called? If you guys said puppy protection, you would be exactly right. Okay? But I'm willing to bet that we're going to leave that up to you guys in today's assignment to answer some questions about that. Let's move on, guys, to a quick review. So, as a review, quick little lesson, we learned that nonfiction passages often include text features, just like nonfiction texts or nonfiction books as well. And I think that's pretty cool because it helps our understanding. A passage is a section of a larger text, and a text feature is any characteristic outside of the main body. Examples might include photographs, captions, headings, titles. Can you guys think of anything from yesterday? Maybe diagrams as well, even though we didn't see an example of that. Right? Text features provide valuable information, and passages can include all of the text features of nonfiction text. But hopefully you guys picked up on the fact that our sections and paragraphs were numbered in our passages. And that makes it a lot easier for us to go back and find the answers to some of our questions. And it keeps ourselves up pretty organized. All right? Nonfiction text in passages is a very common thing we see in school. It's important to be able to identify and decide and know how to use those text features, much like we talked about yesterday. And we're going to start to see quite a few passages that we really need to just work hard to pick apart and just absolutely be experts at identifying those text features in nonfiction text. And I think you've done a great job at it, guys. As always, I've been Mr. Remedies from my secret hideout somewhere in Copperas Cove, Texas. You've been amazing, and we will see you next time. Bye, guys.